I've been hearing from a few listeners that you're finding it difficult to get up earlier so that you can follow through on the Choose Happy morning routine. I hear you. It's not easy if you're not used to it. So I thought I'd share with you a few tips you can implement into your evening routine that may help you get to bed earlier and get a good night's sleep so that you can wake up. And yes, this episode will include a bedtime affirmation. I know a few of you are looking for one, so I wrote one up for you. Come on in. It's time to take back your evenings. Hey girlfriend, welcome to the Choose Happy with Marie show. Do you want to stop seeing the negative every day and have the time and energy to do what you want? Are you finally done with the limiting stories and the fear that stands in your way of living a happy life? Does negative self-talk sabotage your self-confidence? Hi, I'm Marie. For the majority of my life, I lived in negativity that was often labeled as depression. My breakthrough happened when I broke free from the negative thinking and I learned the power of choosing happy. In this podcast, you will find tangible ways to ditch the negativity, improve your self-esteem, and take action for what you really want for your life. No more guilt, no more people pleasing. Let's do this. We are choosing happy. Hi, how are you? So I'm hearing from a few listeners that you can't get up in the morning to do the Choose Happy morning routine. Remember, these are new habits that you're implementing, so it's going to feel uncomfortable at first. And if you experience negative self-talk or thoughts, well, just wait. It will get better. It will get better. As you go through and do the activities, the different elements in the routine, you're going to feel more positive as you do them as the days progress. Give yourself at least a week of doing it every day to start seeing some positive progress where you just feel better as you go on with your day after you do them. Aside from the morning routine, to have a good morning routine, actually you need to have a good evening routine. What is an evening routine? Well, it's a set of activities that you do after you finished your dinner, your supper, you're done the dishes. What do you do after that? Do you slump in front of the TV? Do you snack mindlessly and scroll on social media? Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok for an hour, maybe 2 hours. Maybe then you're on YouTube. That could be a time suck. I've been there. Do you take the time to remove your makeup, wash your face, put on a moisturizer, brush your teeth? Do you put your pajamas on? When you're doing these activities, is your mind racing thinking about the day's activities? What happened? What didn't happen? What you could have done but didn't do? How people reacted to you? Then you start feeling negative because you're focused on the perceived negatives from the day. You know, that's our old friend, not exactly friend, called the negativity bias. If you haven't learned about him or her yet, depending if you want to call it a gender or just being gender neutral, check out the episode in which I talk about the negativity bias. I can't recall the number of it right now, but I will put it in the show notes so you can learn a little bit more about this thing called the negativity bias. If this continues as you crawl into bed and you're thinking about the day's activities, then you start thinking about tomorrow and all the things that could possibly go wrong tomorrow. And then you can't sleep. That, my friend, is an evening routine that many of us have. And you know what? It's feeding our negative thoughts. This is not a Choose Happy evening routine. I've been there. I used to do these things. I had to get off the evening routine hamster wheel. That was my everyday life if I wanted to change and improve my life. So what did I do? Well, I started to do what so-called experts said were good things to do in my evening routine. I say so-called experts because you don't need to have a degree to know what are good things to do in your evening routine. I'm sure you know what to put in, as part of your evening routine. But what you do need is intentionality. And 100% you have to ditch the negative activities so that you can implement healthy activities. Remember, your activities, what you choose to do in the evening, they're just habits, especially if you're doing them every day. And habits, as you know, can be good or bad. For today's episode, we're going to focus on good habits. I don't want to fuel your mind with any more negative thoughts or ideas. You have enough to deal with. Hello. I get it. Me too. When we have a healthy evening routine, we sleep better. That's right. How many of you have sleep challenges? When we don't sleep well, it can affect our mood for the next day. And we definitely can't get up to follow through on our morning routine. Did you know that our brains like routine? Routine, which are things done a certain way repeatedly, tells our brain that we've been there before. We don't need to have the fight or flight reflex engaged. Our brain can relax. There is no need to think of worst case scenarios. You may be thinking, but Marie, I'm an adult. I don't need routines. That's for kids. I'm here to tell you that routines are good for all of us, regardless of age. Your evening routine has one goal, to get yourself to have a good night's sleep. That's right, one goal. If things you are doing in the evening right now do not result in this, you need to reevaluate what you're doing. Just a little girlfriend tough love. Here are some tips that experts say we should be doing to help us have improved sleep. So here's a few tips. Number 1, I'm sure you've heard this before. Switch off all electronics 2 hours before sleeping and dim the lights in your house or apartment. The blue light that emits from our mobile phones, laptops, TVs, and other electronics, they all emit the same sort of light. I didn't realize this. That the sun emits during the day. So when you look at your electronics screens, that light is telling your brain that actually it should be awake, that it is daytime. So I know this is hard to do, to switch off electronics 2 hours before sleeping, especially when you're texting with family and friends where this is the only time they have to connect with you. I know, I've been there. Yeah, definitely. It can be a challenge to balance all of that. But it matters. It really does. Also, dimming the lights in your house will help as well. Or you could always light candles or have a bedside lamp turned on. That's always a nice little ambiance. The second tip that experts say we should be doing to help us have improved sleep is actually taking 15 minutes and tidying up our home. Interesting, isn't it? Why? Well, imagine waking up to a counter of used dishes. Maybe this happens to you right now. Dishes still on the table. How does that make us feel? Do you like starting your day this way if it does happen to you? I don't. I know that sometimes that can happen. We stay out late or whatever. But when it's a daily thing, that's not a great way to start the day. So experts suggest we take 15 minutes, maybe put the timer on, or you can put a few songs on that will motivate you. Put the dishes in the dishwasher, wash the dishes, and you can even lay out the dishes and the food that you plan on eating the next morning, as long as it's not perishable, of course. If you struggle to get motivated to do this, I suggest you imagine doing it for your best friend. If you were at her place, would you want her to wake up to see used dishes on the counter or on the table? You would want her to have a great start to her day, right? So, do it for yourself. You are worthy of waking up to a clean kitchen or a clean home. The third tip, they say, that really helps us to sleep actually, and I do believe in this because I actually do this, is to plan for the next day. That's really important because then everything is ready to go, that it's just ready to go. You don't have to remember anything the next morning. I recommend checking the weather depending where you live. I know where I live, my weather changes all the time. And you can lay out your clothes, anything specific that you need, your water bottle, your coffee thermos. Put it into your everyday tote bag, backpack, and put it by the front door if that makes sense for you. I know I have a bench by my front door and I leave things there so that I don't forget. And it really helps to put it by the door. Also at this time, you could write out your to-do list for the next day, or at least the essential to-dos. For some of us, this can help us. Or for others, it can create anxiety because you start thinking about everything you'll need to do the next day. So be mindful in which group you fall under. For me, I like to write the essentials that I need to do the following day. And then the next morning, after I've completed my morning routine, I'll look at my to-do list again. And then I'll determine what is realistic to do because things can change when you begin your day. And I just find I'm in a better, healthier mindset after I've done my morning routine, after I've moved my body, connected with myself, and just took some time for me. I find I can look at the days to do in a much healthier way. Another tip they recommend, which completely makes sense, is to do something to relax and chill. So, what helps you to relax? A cup of relaxing tea, maybe reading a fiction book, having a bath, or maybe it's advancing with like a hobby that fuels you. You could be doing meditation, journaling, gratitude, anything that helps you relax and just let go of the day's to-dos. And just take some time to relax. And the last one, because you've probably heard this a lot yourself, don't scroll social media. There's a lot of negative effects of scrolling in the evening. A lot of research on this. So unless you can be intentional and be like targeted where you're connecting with your family, your friends, you're intentionally connecting with them. Okay, again, turn off your electronic devices 2 hours before going to bed. But if you're just scrolling social media to pass the time, be very careful because you start comparing to what you see other people have and you know that people are posting their best pictures. Like, really, that's not always reality. So be very mindful that you're not doing that in the evening if it does negatively affect you. Okay. So I hope these ideas inspire you a little bit to do something different tonight and the next night. Good sleep, it's not optional. Yet so many of us tolerate it. It really matters. And before I go, I wanted to share with you a bedtime affirmation you can use as you get ready for bed tonight. Let go of the worries and give yourself the gift of a good night's sleep. Here's a Choose Happy affirmation you can use before lying down to sleep tonight. I'll repeat it 3 times. I give my body the gift of sleep. I release the worries of the day. A good night's sleep prepares me to have a good day tomorrow. I'll repeat it. I give my body the gift of sleep. I release the worries of the day. A good night's sleep prepares me to have a good day tomorrow. And I'll repeat it a 3rd time, and you are very welcome to join me. I won't be able to hear you, but you're welcome to join me. Here we go. I give my body the gift of sleep. I release the worries of the day. A good night's sleep prepares me to have a good day tomorrow. I hope these evening tips and the bedtime affirmation are helpful to you so that you can wake up refreshed to follow through and do the recommended activities of the Choose Happy morning routine. Any questions about the routine, please send me an email. If you're new to the show, send me an email and I'd be happy to send you the Choose Happy morning routine checklist. For details about using this resource, see the related episodes that will be in the show's notes. Wishing you a wonderful week, choosing happy. Sleep tight. Cheers. I hope today's episode empowered you to choose happy as you live your upcoming week. Do you want to help others choose happy? forward this episode to a friend or a family member that may benefit from it as well. You can also leave a review for the show on your favorite podcast app. Doing this will help the show be found in the search bar on the app. Remember to sign up to become a Choose Happy Insider, where you will receive free resources as they become available. Link is in the show's notes. Thank you for listening. Take good care and see you next week.